The receptionist was crying, but her hands were still typing. No one had moved. The elevator was still humming. The phone at the front desk rang twice, then stopped. My name is Harriet Sinclair. I'm 55 years old. And this story still follows me. The woman in the waiting room didn't look up when the receptionist's breath hitched. She was used to hearing people break in public spaces. Her name was Daisy Kern. She was 38. She wore a gray blazer that had seen better years, and she was very, very good at waiting. The receptionist's fingers kept moving across the keyboard even as her shoulders shook. Daisy watched her reflection in the polished floor. The woman was young. The kind of young that still believed crying quietly made it invisible. Daisy had stopped believing that a long time ago. The elevator chimed. A man stepped out, tall, dark suit, no briefcase. He glanced at the receptionist, then at Daisy, then walked past both of them. His shoes didn't make a sound. Daisy checked her phone. 9:47 a.m. She was early. She was always early. The receptionist stood abruptly and disappeared into a side office. The door didn't close all the way. The lobby was too quiet now. Daisy's phone buzzed. A text from a number she didn't recognize. You shouldn't have come. She stared at it for 3 seconds, then deleted it. The side office door opened. The receptionist came back out. Her eyes were dry now, but the redness hadn't faded. She looked directly at Daisy for the first time. Miss Kern. Daisy nodded. Mr. Davin will see you now. She followed the receptionist down a hallway lined with framed photographs. Corporate events. Ribbon cuttings. Handshakes with politicians. In every single one, the man in the center was smiling. They stopped at the last door on the left. The receptionist knocked twice, then opened it without waiting. The office was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Behind a dark wood desk sat a man in his late 50s, hands folded across his stomach. He wasn't smiling now. Miss Kern, he said. His voice was smooth. Please sit. Daisy sat. The receptionist closed the door. Mr. Davin didn't offer his hand. He just watched her the way someone might watch a stain spreading. I assume you know why you're here, he said. Daisy said nothing. He leaned forward. You've been asking questions. I've been doing my job. Your job is to analyze risk, not to investigate. The numbers didn't add up. Numbers never do. That's why we have auditors. The auditors missed it. Or, Davin said, his voice dropping, they knew exactly what they were looking at and decided it wasn't worth their careers. The silence stretched. Daisy had prepared for this. She knew what she was going to say. But now, sitting across from him, watching the way his fingers drummed once against the armrest, she realized something. He wasn't angry. He was calm. And that was worse. Let me ask you something, Davin said. Do you have children? No. A mortgage? Yes. Parents still alive? She didn't answer. He smiled. I'm not threatening you. I'm reminding you that the world is expensive and fragile, and that people who forget that tend to lose more than arguments. Daisy's hands folded in her lap were cold. I'm not going to stop, she said quietly. Davin nodded. No. I didn't think you would. He pulled out a manila folder and slid it across the desk. Daisy didn't touch it. Open it, he said. She did. Inside were photographs, bank statements, emails, all of them hers. Her stomach dropped. You've been very careful, Davin said. But careful isn't the same as invisible. Daisy's eyes scanned the documents. Dates. Transactions. A wire transfer to a friend who'd needed help. Another to a nonprofit. A third to an account she didn't recognize. She looked up. I didn't authorize that. I know, Davin said. But it'll be hard to prove that, won't it? Her throat tightened. You can walk out of here right now, he said. Finish your report. Submit it to the board. And then, in about 3 weeks, someone will notice a pattern. Financial irregularities linked to your accounts. You'll be suspended, then fired, then prosecuted. Daisy's voice came out steady. Or you close the file. You tell your supervisor the audit was clean. You move on. And none of this ever happened. She stared at him. He wasn't bluffing. Daisy stood. She picked up the folder, tucked it under her arm, and walked to the door. Her hand was on the handle when he spoke again. Miss Kern. She stopped. You're not the first person to sit in that chair. But the ones who leave this room and keep going? They're the ones who end up alone. Daisy opened the door and stepped into the hallway. The lobby was empty. She walked to the elevator and waited. Her phone buzzed. Another message. Same unknown number. You still have time to walk away. The elevator doors opened. Daisy stepped inside. She didn't delete the message this time. The doors opened on the ground floor. She stepped out into the street. The sun was too bright. Daisy walked 3 blocks before she realized she was being followed. The man in the dark suit from the elevator, he was there. Half a block back. She turned left at the next corner. He turned left. She stopped at a coffee shop, went inside and sat by the window. The man walked past. He didn't look in. When she left, he was gone. By the time she got back to her car, her hands were shaking. Her phone buzzed. A call. Unknown number. She answered. Silence. Then a voice. Female. Come. You open the folder. Daisy's breath caught. Who is this? Someone who made the same mistake you're about to make. What happened to you? Pause. I'm still here, the woman said. But I'm not who I was. The line went dead. Daisy sat there and realized something she hadn't let herself think until now. She wasn't going to walk away. She was going to finish this. And it was going to cost her everything. Daisy didn't go home. She drove to a parking garage 4 blocks from her apartment and sat there with the engine off. The folder was on the passenger seat. She hadn't opened it again. Her phone had been silent for 20 minutes. That felt wrong. She started the car and drove to a diner she hadn't been to in years. The kind of place that stayed open all night and didn't ask questions. She ordered coffee she wouldn't drink and sat in a booth by the window. The folder stayed in her bag. At 11:32 p.m., a man sat down across from her. He was in his 40s. Thin. Glasses. He looked like someone who worked in IT or sold insurance. You don't know me, he said. Daisy's hand moved toward her phone. Don't, he said quietly. Just listen. She didn't move. My name is Paul. 3 years ago I worked for the same company you do. I found the same numbers. I asked the same questions. Daisy's pulse quickened. What happened? I did what you're thinking about doing. I went to the board. I brought evidence. I thought I was untouchable because I was right. And Paul smiled, but there was nothing warm in it. They fired me. Not immediately. First they reassigned me. Then they audited my work. Then they found mistakes I didn't make. By the time I was let go, no one believed a word I said. Why are you telling me this? Because you're about to make the same choice I did. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter. Daisy leaned back. Then why are you here at all? Paul reached into his jacket and pulled out a USB drive. He slid it across the table. Because I kept looking after they fired me. And I found something they didn't know I had. Daisy stared at the drive. What's on it? Proof. Real proof. Not just numbers. Names. Transactions. Offshore accounts. Enough to bury Davin and everyone above him. Why didn't you use it? Paul's expression darkened. I tried. I went to a journalist. She was found dead 2 weeks later. Car accident. Single vehicle. No witnesses. Daisy's blood went cold. They'll do the same to you, Paul said. Unless you're smarter than I was. What does that mean? It means you don't go to the board. You don't go to the press. You go public. All at once. No warning. You upload everything to places they can't scrub. You make it impossible to silence. Daisy looked at the USB drive. And then what? Then you disappear. Change your name. Leave the city. Start over. That's not a life. No, Paul said. But it's still breathing. He stood up. Wait, Daisy said. The woman who called me. Was that? I don't know who called you, Paul said. But if someone's watching you closely enough to know you opened that folder, you're already out of time. He walked out. Daisy sat there staring at the USB drive. He picked it up. It was light. Plastic. Ordinary. She put it in her pocket. When she got home, every light in her apartment was on. She hadn't left them that way. Daisy stood in the doorway, keys still in her hand. Nothing looked disturbed. No broken windows. No overturned furniture. But someone had been inside. She walked through slowly. Bedroom. Bathroom. Kitchen. Everything was exactly where she'd left it. Except for one thing. On her kitchen table there was a single photograph. It was a picture of her. Taken yesterday. Outside the coffee shop. He was looking directly at the camera. Underneath the photo, written in neat handwriting. "We're trying to help you." Daisy's hands were shaking now. She pulled out her phone and dialed 911. Then stopped. If she called the police, she'd have to explain why someone broke into her apartment. She'd have to explain the folder. The USB drive. The meeting with Davin. And the moment she did that, she'd lose control of the story. She put the phone down. She sat at the table and stared at the photograph. Someone was watching her. Someone had been inside her home. Someone wanted her to know they could reach her whenever they wanted. But they hadn't hurt her. Not yet. Daisy picked up the photo and turned it over. On the back, in the same handwriting. "Check your email." She opened her laptop. One new message. No subject line. Sent from an encrypted address. She clicked it. The email contained a single line of text. "You have 48 hours to decide. After that, the decision will be made for you." Below it, an attachment. Daisy hesitated. Then she opened it. It was a video. Grainy. Security footage. It showed the inside of an office. Davin's office. The timestamp read 3 days ago. In the video, Davin was sitting at his desk. Across from him was a woman Daisy didn't recognize. They were talking. No audio. Then the woman stood. She pulled something from her bag. A gun. Davin didn't move. The woman pointed it at him. Her hand was steady. Davin said something. The woman lowered the gun. She sat back down. They kept talking. 5 minutes later, she left. Davin picked up his phone. The video ended. Daisy sat back, her mind racing. Whoever sent this wanted her to see that Davin had been threatened before. And he'd survived. Which meant he knew how to handle people like her. Or it meant something worse. It meant he was protected. Daisy closed the laptop. She looked at the USB drive sitting on the table next to the photograph. He thought about Paul. About the journalist who died in a car accident. About the receptionist who'd been crying but kept typing. She thought about the moment she'd walked into Davin's office and realized he wasn't afraid of her. And she understood. This wasn't about right and wrong. This was about power. And she didn't have any. Daisy stood up, walked to the window and looked out at the street below. A car was parked across from her building. Engine off. Windows tinted. It hadn't been there when she came home. She stepped back from the window. Her phone buzzed. Another message. 48 hours, Daisy. Clock's ticking. She looked at the USB drive one more time. Then she picked it up and made a choice. Daisy didn't sleep. She sat at her kitchen table with the USB drive in front of her and waited for the sun to come up. At 6:47 a.m. she plugged it in. The drive contained 43 files. Spreadsheets. PDFs. Scanned documents. All of them meticulously organized. She opened the first one. It was a wire transfer record. $2 million. Routed through 3 different banks. Final destination. An account in the Cayman Islands registered to a shell corporation. The authorization signature belonged to Davin. She opened the second file. An email chain. Executives discussing a factory closure in Ohio. 600 jobs eliminated. The decision had been made 8 months before the public announcement. The reasoning, profit margins. One line stood out. Make sure the severance paperwork is airtight. We can't afford another lawsuit. Daisy kept reading. By the time she reached file 12, her hands were cold again. This wasn't just financial fraud. This was systematic. Calculated. Years of decisions made by people who knew exactly what they were doing and didn't care who it destroyed. She thought about going public. She thought about Paul's words. You upload everything. All at once. No warning. But she also thought about the video. The woman with the gun who'd sat back down. The journalist who died in a car accident. Going public meant becoming a target. Staying silent meant becoming complicit. There was no third option. Daisy closed the laptop. She needed to talk to someone. Someone who wasn't Paul. Someone who wasn't a stranger on the phone. She thought about her supervisor, Linda. Linda had been at the company for 19 years. She'd mentored Daisy. Promoted her. Trusted her with projects no one else wanted. If anyone would listen, it was Linda. Daisy grabbed her coat and left. The car across the street was still there. She walked past it without looking. Linda's office was on the 9th floor. Daisy knocked twice. "Come in." Linda was sitting behind her desk reading something on her screen. She looked up and smiled. "Daisy, I wasn't expecting you this early. I need to talk to you." Linda's smile faded. "Close the door." Daisy did. She sat down and pulled the USB drive from her pocket. She placed it on the desk between them. "What is this?" Linda asked. "Evidence. Financial records. Emails. Transactions. Everything that proves what's been happening here." Linda didn't touch the drive. "What do you mean, what's been happening?" "You know what I mean." Linda leaned back in her chair. Her expression was unreadable. "Daisy," she said slowly, "where did you get this? Does it matter?" "Yes, it does." Daisy hesitated. "Someone gave it to me. Someone who used to work here. Paul Hendricks." Daisy's breath caught. "You know him?" "Of course I know him. He was fired 3 years ago for falsifying audit reports." "That's not what happened, isn't it?" Linda folded her hands. "Paul was brilliant, but he was also paranoid. He saw conspiracies everywhere. And when we tried to help him, he lashed out. He wasn't wrong." Linda's voice hardened. "He was unstable. And you're starting to sound like him." Daisy stared at her. "You've seen the numbers. You know something's wrong." "What I know," Linda said, "is that this company employs 4,000 people. People with families, mortgages, kids in college. And if you start making accusations you can't prove, you won't just destroy yourself. You'll destroy them too. I can prove it. It's all on that drive." Linda didn't look at the drive. "Daisy, I'm going to give you some advice. The same advice I gave Paul. Walk away. Finish your current projects. Take some time off. And when you come back, we'll find you a new role. Somewhere quieter." "I'm not walking away." Linda's expression softened. "Then you're making a mistake." "Maybe." Linda stood. "I've known you for 6 years. You're smart. You're careful. But you're also naive. You think the world rewards people for doing the right thing. It doesn't. It punishes them." Daisy stood too. "Is that what happened to you?" Linda went very still. "What did you just say?" "You were like me once, weren't you? You found something. You tried to fix it. And they made you choose." Linda's jaw tightened. "Get out of my office." "What did they offer you, Linda? A promotion? A bonus? Or did they just threaten you until you stopped asking questions?" "Get out." Daisy picked up the USB drive. She walked to the door, then stopped. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. Linda didn't respond. Daisy left. She was halfway to the elevator when her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. "You just made a very stupid move." It was the woman's voice again. "Come, who are you?" "I told you. Someone who made the same mistake. Linda's not going to help you. She's going to call Dave in the second you're gone." Daisy's stomach dropped. "How do you?" "Because I sat in her office 6 years ago and had the exact same conversation. And 20 minutes later, I was escorted out of the building by security." Daisy stopped walking. "What do you want from me?" "I want you to stop being stupid. You think you're the hero in this story. You're not. You're just the next name on a very long list." "Then why are you helping me?" "Pause. Because I'm tired of watching them win." The line went dead. Daisy stood there staring at her phone. Then the elevator doors opened. 2 security guards stepped out. They looked directly at her. "Miss Kern," one of them said, "we need you to come with us." Daisy's heart was pounding now. "Why?" "There's been a complaint. We just need to ask you a few questions." She looked past them. Down the hallway. Linda's office door was closed. Daisy took a step back. The guard moved forward. "Miss Kern, please don't make this difficult." She turned and ran. Not toward the elevator. Toward the stairwell at the end of the hall. She heard shouting behind her. She slammed through the door and started descending. Her feet hit the steps too fast. She nearly fell. He kept going. By the time she reached the ground floor, her lungs were burning. She pushed through the exit door and stumbled into the parking garage. The car was still there. Engine running now. The back door opened. "Get in," a woman's voice said. Daisy hesitated. "Now, Daisy, or they'll have you in 30 seconds." Daisy got in. The The car pulled out before she even closed the door. She looked at the woman sitting next to her. Mid-40s. Short hair. Sharp eyes. You, Daisy said. You're the one who's been calling. The woman nodded. My name is Rachel. And you just ran out of time. The car didn't stop for 12 minutes. Rachel didn't speak. She just stared out the window, her jaw tight. The driver, a man Daisy didn't recognize, kept his eyes on the road. Finally, Rachel turned to her. Give me the drive. Daisy's hand went to her pocket. Why? Because in about 10 minutes they're going to freeze your accounts. Then they'll file a police report. Theft of company property. Unauthorized access to confidential files. By tonight your face will be on the news. I didn't steal anything. Doesn't matter. They'll say you did. And once they do, nothing on that drive will be admissible. It'll be fruit of the poison tree. Legally worthless. Daisy pulled out the USB drive but didn't hand it over. Who are you? I told you. I'm someone who tried to do what you're doing. And I failed. Then why should I trust you? Rachel smiled, but it was cold. You shouldn't. But you're out of better options. Daisy looked at the driver. Then back at Rachel. She handed over the drive. Rachel plugged it into a laptop that was already open on her lap. Her fingers moved quickly across the keyboard. This is good, she said after a moment. Paul really did his homework. He said a journalist died because of this. Rachel didn't look up. Claire Matheson. Investigative reporter. He was good. Too good. She started asking questions about offshore accounts, and 3 weeks later, her brakes failed on the highway. You think they killed her? I know they did. But I can't prove it. Just like I can't prove what they did to Paul. Or to me. Or to the 7 other people who've tried to expose this company in the last decade. Daisy's throat was dry. 7. That I know of. There are probably more. The car turned onto a side street. Narrow. Industrial. The kind of place that didn't have cameras. Rachel closed the laptop. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to upload this to 6 different servers. Encrypted. Time-stamped. Distributed across 3 countries. And then I'm going to send the links to 40 journalists simultaneously. Will they publish it? Some will. Some won't. But enough will that it can't be buried. And then what? Rachel looked at her. Then you run. Where? Anywhere that isn't here. The car stopped. They were in front of a storage facility. Rows of identical units. No one around. Rachel opened the door. Come on. Daisy followed her to Unit 27. Rachel unlocked it and pulled up the rolling door. Inside was a desk. 2 monitors. A server rack. And a woman sitting in a folding chair staring at a screen. She looked up when they entered. This her? The woman asked. Rachel nodded. Daisy, meet Morgan. She's going to make sure this gets out. Morgan didn't smile. She just gestured to a chair. Sit. I need to walk you through something. Daisy sat. Morgan pulled up a screen. Once this goes live, they're going to come after you hard. Lawsuits. Criminal charges. Character assassination. They'll find every mistake you've ever made and put it on blast. Every bad relationship. Every stupid thing you said online. Every time you called in sick when you weren't. I know. No. You don't. Morgan leaned forward. They're going to make you the villain. And half the country will believe them. Because that's what they do. They don't just destroy your credibility. They destroy your humanity. Daisy's hands were shaking again. So what do I do? You go dark. Delete your social media. Ditch your phone. Stay off cameras. Don't talk to anyone you used to know. And you wait. For how long? Until it's safe. Or until it's over. And if it's never over? Morgan shrugged. Then you start a new life somewhere else. New name. New job. New everything. Daisy looked at Rachel. Is that what you did? Rachel nodded. I was a senior analyst. I had a husband. A house. A career. Now I live in 3 different cities under 2 different names, and I haven't spoken to my sister in 4 years. Was it worth it? Rachel's expression didn't change. Ask me in another 4 years. Morgan started typing. We're going live in 60 seconds. Last chance to back out. Daisy thought about Linda. About Davin. About Paul and the journalist who'd died and the receptionist who'd been crying but kept typing. He thought about the 43 files on that drive. The 600 people who'd lost their jobs. The $2 million that had disappeared into an offshore account. She thought about the moment she'd realized she couldn't walk away. And she realized something else. She'd never really had a choice. Not when she'd opened the first file. Not when she'd walked into Davin's office. Not when she'd sat across from Linda and watched her old mentor choose silence over truth. The choice had been made a long time ago. "Do it," Daisy said. Morgan hit enter. The screen filled with upload progress bars. 40 simultaneous connections. 40 journalists. 40 chances for the truth to break through. Daisy watched the bars fill. 60%. 70. 80. Her phone buzzed. She looked down. A text from a number she recognized now. "It's done. You can't undo this." She didn't respond. 90%. 95. 100. Morgan sat back. "It's out." Rachel handed Daisy a burner phone. "Memorize this number. Don't call anyone else. Don't turn on your old phone. Don't go home." "Where do I go?" "Anywhere. Just keep moving." Daisy stood. She looked at the two women who'd risked everything to help her. Two strangers who'd lost their lives to the same machine she was about to fight. "Thank you," she said. Rachel nodded. "Don't thank us yet. You haven't seen what comes next." Daisy walked out of the storage unit and into the afternoon light. The air smelled like rain. She got into a cab and gave an address 3 towns over. As the city disappeared behind her, she opened the burner phone. One message waiting. "You did the right thing. Now survive it." Daisy stared out the window. She didn't feel like a hero. She felt like someone who'd just set fire to her own life and was waiting to see what rose from the ashes. Or if anything rose at all. Somewhere behind her, the first articles were starting to publish. Somewhere behind her, Davin was getting a phone call. Somewhere behind her, Linda was realizing what she'd lost. And somewhere ahead, Daisy's new life was waiting. If she lived long enough to reach it. If you're still here, you understand now. Some stories don't end. They just stop. If this story stayed with you, if it made you feel something you can't quite name, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more stories that refuse to let go. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the truth is, we're all one decision away from becoming Daisy. And the only question is whether we'll have the courage to see it through.